being in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's a pretty basic premise for many great movies, like, say, Die Hard or something like that. And it can really set up a great thriller. Business as usual, doing your daily routine, turn one corner, see something you shouldn't have, and you have one really bad day. That is essentially the gist of it. That is essentially what's going on in Green Room, the latest film from Blue Ruin's Jeremy Saulnier. And it's a pretty effective thriller that stars Patrick Stewart, Imogen Poots, Anton Yelchin, and basically a band on the road who is just struggling to make ends meet, going from gig to gig. Basically end up having to take one at a I guess you could say a Aryan bar somewhere in the Pacific Northwest, and they know that they're going right into I guess into the devil's den, as you would say, playing their music for basically white supremacists. That should be enough to give anyone pause. It's like saying, "He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be hanging out here with a bunch of racists, and I got to put on a show for these guys," which they do, but that's not what the problem is. The problem is that something happens where they just, it's a very basic thing. That's just like a very mundane thing. You accidentally leave something behind you. You go back to get it. But the end result is that when one of the characters goes back to get one of their bandmates' cell phone, he goes back to their dressing room to get it. And when he goes in, he enters a nightmare where at that one little moment of just going in to grab that phone and then seeing that someone was just murdered, and everything spirals out of control there, and the ensuing insanity is that you would think that everything would be fine, that they would be going about doing their business, the cops would be called, and they'll just make their statements and then they'll move on. But no, there is something much more sinister going on at this bar that results in a very prolonged, tense standoff between the bandmates and their captors, who are led by Patrick Stewart. Yes, Jean-Luc Picard, and he is incredibly effective as the mastermind behind all this insanity. There's something really cool about the way Stewart performed it. That he just he's a great villain because he obviously is the head honcho, and he just calmly and coolly and effectively, basically in those very moments, cranking his wheels, determining just how exactly to kill you and get away clean. And he just calmly moves through the scene. He's like, do this, do that. Okay, well, do this, do that. And it was like he's a really effective villain. But without getting into much detail about the plot, basically the plot, it all boils down to is that these people witnessed something they shouldn't have, and now the proprietors want them out of the picture, and they got to find a way to survive. So that's what they face, and Green Room essentially ends up being a pretty tense thriller throughout, and pretty entertaining and effective, and quite brutal as well. So I would say I've heard people saying this is probably the most intense thing they ever saw, but for me there were tense moments, but I wasn't like white knuckling it or like grabbing the edge of my seat or anything like that. I mean, I thought it was a pretty efficient and well-made thriller, but like I said, it didn't have me on edge, which is what I would hope from a thriller to do, is just make me sweat in my seat and like grab my armrest and like what's going to happen. And not to say that that's a bad thing for this film. I mean, it's like I said, it's a very effective thriller. But for me, it didn't achieve the level of greatness you would expect from some of the best thrillers out there. So I would say I would give Green Room 3.5 stars out of 5. So have you heard about the Green Room? Have you seen Blue Ruin? Please let me know in the comments below. And please like this video and hit that like button below. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so you can stay on top of my reviews as they come in. So until next time, we'll see you at the movies.